Konnichiwa. Today we're going to talk about two words, sire and surah. Now, we're going to concentrate mainly on the sire because we'll find that surah is really a variant of sire that can be used under certain circumstances. What is this word? It's a particle that marks something. It is either high or low, compared to expectations or what might be considered normative, and therefore is slightly out of the ordinary, a little bit surprising, sometimes very surprising. It can be attached to any noun, pronoun, or noun-like entity, and also to the te form of verbs. And a noun-like entity can have de, which is the te form of the copula after it, and that emphasizes it more, nani nani de sire. And it can also have more after it, de sire more, which emphasizes it even more. There's no actual difference in meaning for these variants, they're just stages of emphasis. Alright, so let's get past the abstract stuff and see how it really works in practice. Sensei de sire, その問題は解けなかった, which in English we would translate as even the teacher could not solve the problem. So that corresponds pretty much directly to English even, which is one of the dictionary definitions it gets, but we'll see that it does various other things too. So we should notice here that the sire or desire knocks out other particles. Really we're saying 先生はその問題はゼロが解けなかった. So we could say that there's a 0 wa in here. This means that it's often used for a strong expression. So we might say 子供でさえもそんなことはできる. Even a child can do such a thing, and that might be directed at someone who can't do it. Even a child can do that. Now, surah, interestingly, is both more literary, more used in written constructions, but also, especially in spoken constructions, more emphatic. So if we said, Saru de surah, sonna koto wa dekiru, even a monkey can do such a thing, and we're using surah to make it even stronger. You can't do a thing like that, even a monkey can do a thing like that. Now these examples really work with a lower baseline. They're saying the basic, most simple, fundamental, minimal expectation would be that at least the teacher could solve the problem if nobody else could. Or we're saying even a monkey, even a child, someone you'd barely expect to be able to do it, could do it. But it can work both ways round. So, for example, ロボットは歌うことさえできます. That robot can even sing. So now we're looking at an upper baseline, and it's still a surprising thing. You wouldn't expect a robot to be able to sing, la la la, but some of us can. And we notice here that sai is marking not the robot, but utao koto, the thing of singing. That's the thing that's unexpected. That's the thing that exceeds the baseline. If we marked roboto with sai, roboto sai utao koto ga dekimasu, and then we're saying even that robot can sing, which might have the implication you can't sing, but even that robot can sing. So notice that it's important to consider which element the sai is marking. Now in any of these cases, surah could be used to replace sai, but sai is often used in the conditional form, and it's important to understand that here surah cannot be exchanged for sai. So with conditional sentences it has to be sai. And with conditional sentences, the meaning changes slightly. It's still basically the same meaning, but it tends to mean a minimum baseline. So let's look at some typical sentences here. Kimi sae ireba hoka ni wa nani mo iranai. And this could be translated into English as long as I have you, I don't need anything else. And this indicates the way that sae can form expression strategies that are different from ones used in English, because what is actually being said here is, if only you exist, if baseline minimum you exist, nothing else is needed. So, for another expression strategy that probably differs rather from English, 戦争さえなかったら、こんなに物価が上がるのではなかっただろう。Had it not been for the war, the prices wouldn't have risen like that. But what we're actually saying in Japanese is baseline minimum. If the war hadn't happened, the prices wouldn't have risen like this. The Psi, what the Psi is doing, is saying that the only factor, just as Kimi Psi Ireba, the only factor is having you, and then everything else is okay for me. Here, the only factor is that the war happened. If the war hadn't happened, nothing else would have made the prices rise. And again, both of these are unexpected in the sense that we would expect a number of factors to be active. We would expect people to need a number of things, not just one person, but also food and housing and all kinds of other things. They probably actually do, so it's a bit of an exaggeration. Similarly, one would expect the rise in prices to have a variety of causes, but what we're saying here is it only had one cause, and that's the war. So we take another expression, Hon sai yonde ireba, gohan wo taberu koto mo wasurechao. I even forget my meals in reading. Might be an English way of putting it, but what it's actually saying is, if only I'm reading, that one factor is present, I even forget my meals. And another example which really falls even further from any English equivalent is Kare wa hima sae areba sakana tsurida. Whenever he has a spare moment, whenever he has time, he goes fishing. But what this is actually saying is, if only free time exists, then he goes fishing. And so the expression strategy is very different from English. But what we're saying here is, the only thing that has to happen is for spare time to exist, and he's off fishing. And to take one more non-conditional example, usagi de sae konna ni hayaku sugata wo kiase nakatta, which in English would be rabbits could not have disappeared more quickly. So rabbits marked as a limit of expectation, and this is like an upper limit of expectation, in the way that monkeys being able to do something was a lower limit of expectation. Konna ni hayaku sugata wo kiase nakatta. Sugata or kesu means literally cause one's form or appearance to vanish, and it's a common expression for disappearing, making oneself unfindable. So the rabbit's marked as an upper limit, an example of something that can disappear very fast. Even they couldn't disappear their appearance as quickly as those people did. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comments below, and I will answer as usual. I'd like to thank my gold Kokeshi patrons, my producer angels who make these videos possible, and all my patrons and supporters on Patreon and everywhere, and all of you who watch my videos and like them and comment, and especially you for attending this lesson. Thank you for supporting this channel, and for helping us to look into both the big structures of Japanese and the little words like this that, even though they are little, are often hard to understand when all you get is the word and then a number of English equivalents, and you're left to work out for yourself what's going on, which isn't really very easy a lot of the time. これからもよろしくお願いします。Class dismissed.